Welcome to the Essential Skills for Humaning podcast, where we explore the fundamental abilities and insights that make us better humans. Here's your host, Christina Eanes.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Essential Skills for Humaning. I'm Christina Eanes, and we'd like to welcome Lori Saitz. Welcome, Lori.
Thanks for having me.
Well, before we get into our topic of, and I'm excited about this, improving our productivity by quieting distractions, which I think is huge. Can you share a little bit about your background with our audience?
Yeah, absolutely. Where to start? I started I have a background in marketing, in broadcasting and marketing.
Wow.
It's kind of, two different paths, but love both of them. Started my first business in 2003. I was making a product called the Gratitude Cookie that was based on a family recipe and marketing it as a way for businesses to say thank you to their clients and people who supported their success. Ran that business I talked a lot about gratitude and how gratitude affects businesses and how to use it as a differentiating factor. And so a lot about the whole concept of gratitude. Ran that business for 11 years, couldn't quite scale it the way I would have liked, shut it down in 2014, started teaching networking strategies, and then pandemic came along, and then got drawn back into talking about the concepts of gratitude and then tying in some other concepts as well that I think help with productivity. Not I think, they do. There's research and science behind, and we can talk about that. But started bringing this information to entrepreneurs, business leaders, corporate teams. And that's what I'm doing today.
I love it. Well, yeah, and I love your website, Transform from Chaos to Peace, no matter what's happening around you. We absolutely need that today.
Yeah.
So where do we start with this topic? What would you like to talk about first?
I think the whole the thing you mentioned at the beginning here about quieting the distractions in your mind. I'm a fan of time management, sort of. I'm not really good at it, but time blocking your calendar. My calendar's got all the pretty colors of all the different activities that happen at whatever, time of week they happen. At the same time, you can have your calendar all blocked out, but if the distractions in your head are preventing you from actually finishing the tasks or even getting started on the tasks that you're supposed to be doing, then it doesn't help at all.
Yeah. Well, I love it. So, there's internal and external distractors that we're dealing with constantly.
Yes, absolutely. And, a lot of the external ones are not in our control. Mm-hmm. If a client shows up and has an emergency and needs to talk to you, or, projects going off the rails and you need to attend, we can't control that. Yeah. But what we can control is what's going on inside, the internal distractions. A lot of times people think they can't control those, but that's not true. Yeah. And that's what I am so excited about teaching people, is how to do that. Because if you are, again, if you're distracted because you're coming into work and working on let's say a proposal for a client, but you're still thinking about the argument you had with your partner last night, you're not really effective and you're not fully focused. Yeah. So if you can manage those distractions, then you're going to be more productive, more focused, more creative, more innovative, like all the things, and you're going to get stuff done faster.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Well, I can see, like with the external ones, have you heard of there's called different things, control, influence, and no control model? It's where you look at different things. It could be tasks. It could be what your day is. Distractions, external distractions would be perfect. Well, even internal ones. Looking at, okay, which ones do I have no control over? I can't handle. Which ones do I have control over? Like, notifications popping up on my computer. And which ones can I influence, right? So adjusting those for external. But then I am excited to hear about how do we take control of those internal ones? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there are several different ways. A couple of the concepts that I like to share and teach about are, let's start with gratitude. since I already mentioned the gratitude cookies and talking about that, and sadly they don't exist anymore because that's another question I get. So how do I get gratitude cookies?
Yeah.
They're
Will any cookie do? We can just say it's gratitude and eat it. I'm just kidding.
You can. They were a very special breed, but
I'm kidding.
yeah. So talking about gratitude, when you are focused on, when you are more grateful in general in life, your brain is wired differently than if you're not. And when your brain is wired for gratitude, there's so much science behind this, which I think is so cool. But research has shown that when you are more grateful, you are more productive, you are more creative, you feel less physical pain, which is really interesting. And, a lot of people are in pain in some way or another. They have back pain, they have foot pain, knee pain, whatever it is. And that is a distraction.
Yeah.
From, when you're in pain, it's really hard to work.
Yeah.
I had a skin rash at the beginning of the year that I wanted to just, it felt like my skin was on fire. And I could not focus on work at all. All I could think about was, how do I make this stop? And so if you're in chronic pain, how do you manage, so anyway, being grateful, being in a grateful state can help with physical pain. It helps you sleep better. I talk to a lot of people who struggle with sleep and aren't getting enough, or wake up in the middle of the night and can't fall back asleep. So, all of these benefits to being in a grateful state. Your relationships are better. I mentioned earlier about, not being able to focus because you had an argument. Well, being in a grateful state makes you less likely to be drawn into conflict in the first place. So, your relationships are better, not just personal relationships, business relationships as well. And when you are expressing gratitude in a business, in any setting, but let's talk about business settings, your team wants to work harder for you. Yeah.
Language of appreciation is what popped into my head for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
And yet it has such an enormous impact on people. Think about, from your own standpoint as a recipient of gratitude, like, nobody's sitting around going, no more gratitude for me this week, I'm full. Right?
Yes. Yeah, it's interesting too with gratitude. I don't know about you, but I'll find that there's two different groups of folks. And I know it's a continuum, right? But there's the groups are like, absolutely, I'm on board. I practice gratitude on a regular basis. And then there's the other one. That's like that new age positive thinking crap. Don't give that to me.
Yeah.
So what would your response be? Because evidently the research isn't pulling them over. Is there any special message you'd have for that group?
It would be to look at the research. There's a study done by the University of Pennsylvania that showed that people who practice gratitude are 50% more productive.
Wow.
There are hard facts behind what practicing gratitude can do for a business. There was another study done, I can't remember who did it, but that showed that bosses who show their appreciation for their teams, for team members, their team members are, they work harder for them. They are more engaged and they're less likely to leave. These are things that business people should be looking at.
Yes.
Because it affects the bottom line.
Yes.
Like, yes, it is a nice thing to do. It's good manners. It's compassionate, whatever.
Yeah.
But
being
from
a good
business
human
standpoint, it supports that business productivity and profitability.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you do that?
Exactly. And actually, I thought might be my response too. Okay, well, why don't you just try it and see what happens? Yeah. So what are some ways that you suggest people engage in gratitude?
There are so many different ways. So first of all, in a business setting, letting your team, and when I say your team, it could be people who work for you, it could be colleagues, it could be vendors, it could be clients.
Yeah.
letting them know how much you value them.
Hmm.
And not just that you do, but specifically why.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate you contributing to this project because why? And sharing that information, not just at regular, annual reviews, throughout the year, catching people doing things right. It's so often that people are caught doing the wrong thing or making mistakes and being corrected. How about, that's great if you want to help them improve, and they'll be more receptive to accepting that improvement advice.
Yeah.
If they also know that you appreciate what they're doing and that you have caught them doing things well and that you've acknowledged them. There is an exercise that I love sharing called the "But I'm Grateful For" exercise.
Oh.
You want to hear it?
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you first of all, is there something that you may have been complaining about or criticizing in the past 3 to 5 days? Did something happen
The weather?
that upset you? The weather? Yeah, it's really
It's
overcast.
gloomy right now.
It is here too, yeah.
I was just complaining about that this morning.
Okay, so let's take that as an example. This weather is terrible. It's so gloomy. It's got me thinking, it's got me not feeling 100%. But I'm grateful that that what?
That I don't have to wear sunscreen today.
Okay. I'm grateful I don't have to wear sunscreen today. I'm grateful I can be indoors and not have to be sitting outside in the rain.
Yeah.
I'm grateful I have clean water to drink. It doesn't even have to be related to what you're complaining about. Yeah. I'm grateful that we're getting to have this awesome conversation.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, the "but I'm grateful for" exercise is taking your focus on the complaint and refocusing it to something that you're grateful for.
Yeah.
And that's why we are specifically using the word "but," but I'm grateful for, because you may have heard that the word and is more pleasant when you're giving feedback to somebody. Because Christina, you did a great job on that event last night. I really enjoyed it, but next time. Yes. And now you just didn't even hear what I complimented you on.
Exactly.
That's why we're using it in this case, because we want to negate the complaint or criticism and focus on the gratitude part. The more you do this, and it's a matter of when you catch yourself, because we're human.
Yeah.
And you say, "But I'm grateful for." The more you do it, you're wearing a new neural pathway in your brain. You're rewiring, literally rewiring your brain, which is so cool.
Yeah.
To focus more on the gratitude. And that's not to say that you're going to stop noticing complaints or stop criticizing. However, when you do, you are going to more immediately go straight to gratitude.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a blip on the screen, and then you're going to go, "But I'm grateful for," and I have 15 different things.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah. Time and intention. Focus on it. Nice. Yeah. Okay. So gratitude.
What's
another one?
Grounding exercises. Grounding and calming exercises. Again, because we are so distracted, not just, in our minds. However, the things that are distracting us there are a lot of things that are distracting us.
Absolutely.
It could be, like I said, relationships, personal business relationships, whatever it is. But also the media. And, we've got a lot going on in our world. Traditional media, social media, they all want to influence how you think and what you think. And we also have the influences of family, friends, colleagues, giving them the benefit of the doubt. For the most part, family and friends are wanting to influence you because they want the best for you. And they're coming from their own set of beliefs and whatever. We won't get all into that. However, the media, and in every form, they do not have the best of intentions. They have their own agenda. And so it's up to you to decide what to pay attention to and how to respond. And so how do you take back your own thoughts.
Yeah.
So how do you even hear your own thoughts?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's great.
And so the grounding and calming exercises are a way for you to refocus on what is happening inside me. What are my thoughts? What's my inner voice telling me? And a lot of times people can't hear it anymore because they're so conditioned to be listening to everything outside of them.
Yeah. External focus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I could see like I've recently, well, I would say in the last few years, I've really, like I have an Apple Watch, but I turned off all the notifications.
Yes.
Yeah. Cause I have people in my life that every time like something like an email or a text or something on social media pops up, it's on their watch. I'm like, how are we constantly looking down at it?
Yeah.
Putting my phone away, turning off the notifications unless, it's for a particular person.
Right.
That's, yeah. That kind of stuff.
That's great advice because, I was at my dentist a while back and he was telling me because I don't have any of the notifications making noise. And he said, it's crazy how many people come in and their phone is constantly going off and it's like, it's jarring to him and it's not even his notifications.
Yeah. Well, and their face is constantly in it. I watch these people walk down the street and I'm like, how are you not getting killed?
Yes. Yes. Especially where you are.
Yeah, I know. So there's that, right? And then that internal grounding. So what would be like a suggestion for like a short meditation or?
Yeah. Well, I love talking. Meditation is another one of the concepts that I teach. And sometimes it's a bit too far for people in terms of they hear the word meditation. They go, oh yeah, I've tried that. I'm not good at it.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of like weight around that word.
Yeah. So let's start with the term of a grounding or calming exercise.
Yeah.
And that could be as simple as breathing.
Yes.
Are you breathing right now? I'm going to guess that anybody listening is going to say yes. However, are you breathing really, again, intentionally and breathing in? So here's the exercise to start with. Breathe really deeply into your abdomen. And you can keep your eyes open or you can close them if you want to. And just breathe in really, like put your hand on your abdomen and feel the air coming all the way down into your lungs, into your abdomen, filling that up. And then hold it for a couple of seconds and just let it go. And as you're breathing out, feel your neck relaxing. Feel your shoulders relaxing away from your ears. Do it a couple more times. Really deep breath in and letting it go and feeling your arms relax and your hands relax. And as you're doing this, what you're doing is you're relaxing your entire nervous system. It's just resetting and you're oxygenating your brain and your blood and just taking a really quick break. I mean, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and it refocuses everything. Yeah. And so can you do that whenever you're feeling stressed or even if you don't think you're feeling stressed in between activities? So after we finish this recording, before we go to the next thing, just take a couple of deep breaths. Before you go into your next meeting, a couple of deep breaths. And if you're in a meeting and things are starting to get heated or not going the way you would have liked, a couple of deep breaths. Like this isn't an activity that you have to make a big show of.
Yeah.
And nobody has to even know you're doing it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So just that alone can help bring everything down, bring the stress levels down. What you're, when you start talking about meditation, and that is a piece of it, the breathing, you're getting into, activities like when you practice meditation and gratitude, same. What you're doing is, I mentioned you're rewiring your brain. You're also, your brain is releasing dopamine and serotonin, which are the feel-good chemicals. And it's releasing less of the stress hormone of
Cortisol.
Cortisol. Thank you. Just went out of my head. Yeah. Cortisol, less cortisol coursing through your body. And cortisol is the thing that causes a lot of problems, causes heart disease, all kinds of inflammation in the body, which causes all kinds of dis-ease in the body. Almost every dis-ease, and I'm not a doctor, but almost every dis-ease in the body is caused by inflammation. And inflammation is caused by chronic stress.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and so what I'm also hearing too, because we're getting oxygen up to the brain, we're releasing the serotonin and the dopamine, exercise. And it doesn't have to be like massive going to the gym for an hour. It could be like a quick walk around the office building between a meeting.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Getting some physical movement, drinking water. People do not drink nearly enough water. And I'm not saying you have to drink gallons of it.
No.
I'm saying most people don't even have 3 glasses a day. That's crazy, right? They're drinking plenty of coffee or maybe some tea or energy drinks. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Don't even start.
Don't even go there.
Right. But water, again, like the water, the exercise. Another grounding exercise, in fact, is taking a walk in nature. The Japanese call it, I believe they call it nature bathing.
Yeah.
And walking in nature, taking your shoes off if you can, if you're in a place where you can stick your feet in some grass, is very grounding.
Yeah.
And doing that and just standing there and breathing, or thinking about yourself as a tree and how a big oak tree or a big, a big strong tree is. It's very rooted into the ground. And so if you feel that, even if you can't take your shoes off, just standing and feeling like you are rooted like a tree and that nothing can blow you over is very empowering. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's fascinating how powerful the mind is.
Yeah.
Yes. In either helping us or hurting us.
Right.
It all depends on, what was that? If we're the servant or the master of the mind?
Yeah. It's both.
Yes. Yeah. Any other strategies you want to share before we get to your products and or services?
Oh my gosh. So there are so many.
You're like, there's so many.
When we're talking about meditation, one of the reasons that people say they're not good at it is because 2 reasons I hear mostly. One is, I can't quiet the thoughts in my head.
Yeah. And we're not supposed to.
Right. That's the thing. We are human. Thoughts are always going to be there.
We have a brain.
Yeah. And that's its job, is to think. So it's a matter of recognizing that you're not going to be able to clear all the thoughts in your head. And that's part of it. And so one of the things that helps make you more focused outside of meditation is practicing meditation and having all of those thoughts coming in and seeing them, recognizing them and saying, hey, I see you. I'm going to take some quiet time here for a moment. Come back later. Leave me alone for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And refocusing back to your breath or back to the sound of the meditation teacher's voice if you're listening to a guided meditation, or the sound of the music or the sound of the birds if you're outside. And every time you refocus, every time thoughts come into your head and you notice them and then you refocus back, that is the practice.
Yes.
That is making you better at being able to focus when you are not in a meditation. When you're working on something and you need to focus on it, you have now practiced coming back. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But people think that's what makes them not good. That's actually what the practice is.
That's what it is. Yeah. Oh, I love that. I haven't heard meditation explained that way before. And I think that really helps clarify for folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That we're not doing it wrong. You're actually doing it right.
No. And you don't have to. So this is the second thing I hear is, I don't have time.
Yeah.
I'm so busy. There's a,
you don't have time not to.
Right. Right. There's a Zen, I think it's a Zen proverb or something, like, if you don't have time to meditate for 5 minutes, then you should meditate for an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I love to, I don't know if I got it from somewhere or whatever, but I like to tell people sometimes you need to slow down in order to speed up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I say that too. And
yeah. See?
yeah. I remember a friend a long time ago telling me that her father had told her that when you are open, like sometimes in order to take step forward, you need to take 2 steps back.
Yeah.
And he gave her the example of opening the refrigerator.
Ah.
So, like as you pull it open, you're going to get something in front of you, but you have to take a couple steps back to open the
Ooh.
refrigerator. I don't know. That's stuck in my head.
I like that. That's cool. I'm going to take it.
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. So that slowing down, I don't have time. Andrew Huberman is a brain and research scientist. And he has done research that showed that 3 minutes, as few as 3 minutes of meditation has a profound effect. And so can you find 3 minutes to sit or stand or, walk again without your electronics? This is the thing about meditation is
yes,
unless you're listening to a guided meditation on your phone, and there's an app I'll share in a second, then you don't have your phone.
Yeah.
Like either have it turned off or silenced or whatever, but you're not listening
you can't
to it.
reach it.
Yeah. Just it, because this is about getting in touch with your inner voice.
Yeah.
And blocking out all the other things, which is why a lot of times when you're doing a meditation, they'll say, close your eyes and wear headphones, because what you're doing is blocking out the outside distractions.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do those things.
Yeah.
Gardening could be a form of meditation. Coloring, which I love doing and honestly don't make enough time to do. Coloring, baking, anything that really gets you into like that flow state of just, And so you don't need an hour. And at the same time, the cool thing about practicing meditation or grounding and calming exercises is that it frees you up. It makes you more effective. So it actually gives you more time.
Yeah.
You know that the whole thing about sharpening the axe.
Oh, I think so. But
there was 2. Well, so Stephen Covey talks about sharpening the axe, but then there was a quote, I think it was attributed to Abraham Lincoln, that if you give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'll spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. And when you are practicing meditation on a regular basis, because once in a while, every few years, doesn't actually work. Now, ask me how I know that. When you are consistent with it, you are sharpening that axe. Yeah. And so your focus is better. Your creativity is higher. You're better able to put thoughts into words or into action or whatever. And so it will take you less time to do the task at hand than it would if you weren't practicing. And so you're actually buying yourself time.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too, because your perception of time changes. Yeah. Right. That's essentially what that is. My husband and I do escape rooms together, and we've done many escape rooms. And we have found that without fail, when you're looking up, we learned this probably about 500 escape rooms in. When you look up and you see you've got like 5 minutes left on the timer, you look around, you see it feels like you've got like 20 puzzles left. I'm not going to make it. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to make it. Cortisol pumps up, right? Yeah. But we've learned by focusing and relaxing and staying calm, that 5 minutes can feel like 20. Yeah. 97% of the time we're out of there on time. But it's just fascinating how that 5 minutes can feel like 2, or it can feel like 20.
Yeah. Well, and it's been said that time is an illusion.
Yes.
Which is a whole other conversation, but
whole nother one. Yeah. Oh, well, now I know people are going to want to learn more. Well, especially about that app you recommend, but could you share that and your resources, products? How can people learn more?
Yeah. Thanks for the reminder. The app I use is called Insight Timer.
I have that one.
You have that? Yeah. It's free.
Yes.
There is a paid version of it, but you don't even need the paid version. There's so many great meditations on there for the free version. Insight Timer, you can download it for free. Other resources that I have a program, an digital audio program called Staying Calm in Chaos. And it's all audio. So if you love podcasts and you're listening to this one, it's really easy to consume, and a lot more of the kind of stuff we've been talking about today. And then I do workshops for business leaders, corporations and their teams, and talking about getting into doing some for universities as well.
Ooh.
to teach graduating students some of these practices for leadership. I have a program called Zen Leadership. And so, and that is all available at my website, Zen Rabbit. My company is called Zen Rabbit, zenrabbit.com.
Oh, I love it. Okay. So we'll make sure that gets in the episode description and tagged and all that great stuff. All right. Your final piece of advice.
My final piece of advice is to make time to get in touch with that inner voice, because it will never steer you wrong. And let me just point out that if the inner voice is telling you something negative, like you're not good enough, you're never going to be able to do this, that is not your inner voice. That is the voice of somebody outside of you that you have been listening to for a very long time that you might not even recognize as somebody else's voice. Your inner voice is always going to be your highest good. And so make time, find ways to get in touch with it, because it's like your intuition. It's always going to give you the truth, and the truth is very powerful.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. That's awesome advice. Oh, thank you so much for spending some time with us today, Lori.
And thanks for inviting me on.
Thank you for tuning in to the Essential Skills for Humaning podcast. We hope you've gained valuable insights to enhance your journey as a human being. Remember, practice makes progress. Keep honing those essential skills, and until next time, keep being the best version of yourself. For more resources, visit eanestraining.com.